Sitting with Kelowna Mayor Tom Dias. Tom, again, welcome and thanks for the time, as usual.
Wayne, thank you, and thank you for your time also.
Busy time in the city over the last number of weeks, a number of issues to get to. I want to start with Kelowna Springs. The city has engaged in a land swap with Denciti Developments, where the city will take over the actual golf course property. How did that come about?
Through discussion. There was, I think, many people may or may not be aware of the process on how it took place. That when we came into office through the OCP, that property had been transferred from recreational into industrial. We then, and that's the way that it sat when we came into office, collectively as a council, through a motion that Councillor Stack moved forward, we looked at moving it back to recreational. So it was allocated as recreational property. The current owner obviously had paid a price for that property that was based upon industrial. We did have discussions with that owner at that point in time whether there was an opportunity to acquire that property back from them. But based upon a calculation of it being industrial land and being roughly around 100 acres or so, the math just wouldn't pencil out. It wouldn't work. So then there was further discussion that took place on, what would be the path forward. Denciti started to advocate alongside with pickleballers. Yes. To see whether there would be an opportunity to establish a facility for them there. Denciti proceeded through that process to engage with them. And then there was discussions with how do we kind of look at moving this forward. It is, from the current owner's situation, they, I think we're looking at saying if we're not able to move it forward, we'll just wait. And we'll potentially look at sitting on this land and eventually sometime in the future it will change. We recognize the importance of that facility within the community as a recreational facility and the golf course that was there. And so there was discussion back and forth and looking at trying to find an equal ground to land at.
Some would say that the development application, which is sort of tied to all of this, as you've just alluded to, with the city being a potential owner of the golf course property, that it would make the path forward, City Council's decision on the industrial development a little easier to do, considering that it's tied with city ownership of the golf course.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to speak for all of Council's views right at this point in time on what they're looking at, but it's a consideration. And is there a process of kind of back and forth and negotiation to maybe find a landing pad that will work for everyone involved? This situation allows that if it was to move forward, it would preserve that section of the golf course. It would preserve the ponds. It would preserve 9 kilometers of kind of interconnectivity with regards to walking areas.
And the aquifer and
yeah, exactly, and then the development of pickleball courts, right, if it proceeds. Is it exactly probably what some individuals wanted? No, it's not exactly. And is it what some individuals wanted? So it's kind of, when we get into this situation, I don't think any of us really wanted where the proponent or the landowner realized that nothing was going to happen and they were just going to, let the property just sit.
And the one nice thing we heard in discussions with Ian Robertson, who owns the golf course business, is that they have a lot of interest from the golfing community this year. A lot of people that hadn't golfed in a while. A walkable 9-hole course. It's a 2-hour day. It fits perfect with their lifestyle. They brought a lot of new people out that they hadn't seen in years, and they still had over 40,000 rounds at a 9-hole course that people said people won't use.
Yeah, and again, this is just a personal part of it because I do enjoy the game of golf. There are a lot of times that my time will not allow me to maybe golf all 18. So I think there's many comments that the perfect would maybe be a 12 or something along those lines. But the idea of taking 4 hours out, by the time you're an hour ahead of time, you're a couple of hours in the game of golf, and then you're maybe an hour afterwards just kind of having discussions of the game. It's a consideration, and I don't know exactly how it will go at this point in time, but it's is it an opportunity to kind of find a middle road on it? Maybe.